Good morning, guys. Sorry for the dishwasher. I've had this video planned out for like a month now. I've had notes written down on it and conversations with different people that have kind of inspired this conversation I want to have with you guys here on the channel. And it's this idea of serving a raw product in a environment that's not like in our culture, that does everything possible to deter that. There are two sides of the story. There's a business side and there's a consumer side. We are, if you guys are new to the channel, my sister and I operate our organic cold press raw juicery out of Northwest Ohio. These are our big cold press machines. It's a mini version of the big X1. But we just press fruits and veggies here and we serve them up in the fridge. So our system here is a little different. We make everything, we try to make everything fresh. So as things go out of stock in the fridge, I make more of those recipes. And you can find so many behind the scenes videos of our juicery here. If this is something that you're interested in, definitely check out the channel. But a normal juicery, I don't want to say normal because it's hard to find a juicery that is raw and serving fresh juice. Most juiceries are pasteurized, and either through HPP or just there's tons of different pasteurization methods. You can use light, you can use pressure, you can use heat, you can use chemicals, which is disgusting. You can use so many of these things that don't have to be disclosed on the label. So we could be secretly like HPPing back here and not have to disclose it. Actually, a lot of people think that the dishwasher is an HPP machine, but it's not. So as a consumer, it's really hard to know what you are consuming. It's just, there's got to be a lot of transparency in it. The business being transparent about their process and procedures, and the consumer being able to, having the confidence to ask, is this raw? When was it made? La-di-da-di-da. I think one of the most common questions we get in the shop and here on the YouTube channel and just Instagram and stuff is, can you explain the drink by date? Which is, we market with a 3 to 5 day shelf life, and that is determined by our health department, our local health department. There are certain things that, like celery juice is very shelf stable. It'll keep for a long time. Whereas like kale and green juices there's different things that are more stable than different things. If you have a juice recipe with a lot of lemon in it, it's obviously more shelf stable. We've been so, I don't want to say brainwashed, but to consume something raw in this day and age is very foreign and unfamiliar. And what actually brought this idea of this video on was a conversation with a friend that comes to the juice shop. She had a few juices in a fridge that lost power and they spoiled and went bad. And she was very, Dana, if you're watching this conversation was like months ago, but I'm just now getting to it. She was surprised at what didn't go bad in the fridge, at things that didn't spoil, that should have spoiled, condiments and just things that obviously should go bad that didn't. And it brings on this idea of like, what are we really consuming, I guess is the question. Like, we don't know everything that goes on behind the scenes, and it's especially prevalent in the juicing industry when you're trying to serve something raw in a world that just doesn't want you to do that. Shelf life for a raw juice, I always like to say, compare it to cutting up an apple and putting it in your fridge. Nutritionally, you're going to want to eat that apple within a couple days. You could leave it in there for a week. It's going to turn brown, and there are ways to add longevity to that. You can squeeze some lemon on it. You can add salt to your almond milks, and there are ways that, if you're an at-home juicer, I'm sure you've played with these ways. But there are ways to extend the shelf life and to kind of keep that nutritional content there longer. Raw versus pasteurized juice and how that works for us is we have to be the ones handing off the product to the customer. We cannot retail or wholesale to organizations or fitness studios or anything like that. But if you pasteurize, you can do whatever you want. You can offer these at grocery stores, you can be in fitness centers, you can do all those things that you would want to do as a business. And I totally get it, but here what we want to do is we want to serve raw juice. You can buy pasteurized juice at a grocery store. Our customers value it. We value it. There's a niche here that we fill. There is a time and a place for everything. Like if you're reaching for a Pepsi at the grocery store, obviously a pasteurized juice would be a better choice than that. It's a lot easier from a business. It's just easier. Like you're more accessible to your customers. They can find your juice more readily available throughout and wherever you're serving. It's easier and more user-friendly to be pasteurized because you can do whatever you want. But in that pasteurization process, they're also killing. The pasteurization kills pathogens and bad things, but it also kills off all the live enzymes. It makes the juice sterile, so it's less likely to get somebody sick. It's less likely to do something. So there is more freedom in that. You can serve it more places. You don't have to be so strict with the guidelines and whatnot. The system favors that process. The health department favors that process. It's just easier. There's less risk in their mind because we are considered, we're not serving like meat or anything like that, but we're not also a coffee shop. We're like in the middle. I forget what level we are, but the health department does watch us, and they come in and stop in and check on things that we're doing and our system and process and procedures. Small juiceries, as you are small and your customer base is small, it favors this raw system, almost like made to order system, which is how we started with centrifugal juice. But as you grow and your brand becomes bigger, you're more well known, you get approached to do these events, these kiosks, all these things that you want to do. But if you are not pasteurized, it makes it a lot harder. So hang on a second. So yes, it is a very, it's just like satisfying mentally to be able to like distribute your product to wherever you want and to be able to do all those events. And there are juiceries that do, that serve raw juice and also do HPP juice. HPP is supposed to be the most gentle form of pasteurization. It uses pressure and gives like a 14-day shelf life to juice. So if you see a juice marked with a date that's 2 weeks from that day, it's probably been HPP'd. If you see a juice marked with a 3 to 5 day shelf life, it's probably raw. Keeping a raw product in stock can be hard sometimes. We manage it really well because it's just Jordan and I here, but things can run out of stock, or we can have days where just like nobody comes in and we're sitting on product, and we manage that by making everything in small batches, keeping an eye on the fridge. As things run out, we restock them. But sometimes there will be stuff that's not stocked and we'll have to educate, and this is just an opportunity to reassure the quality of the product that you're serving as a juicery. We make everything fresh. It's fully raw. We don't have the luxury of keeping things on our shelves for longer than a few days. So if something is not being sold, we'll dollar off it or we'll give it away. We've done that if things really just aren't selling for some weird reason. And there's different levels to all that. We could juice twice a week here and still fit things into like the 3 to 5 day shelf whatever. But we juice every day. We juice things in small batches every day. We want customers to get the freshest quality product they can get. But you can do, if you're a juicery or just wondering like how this works, you can make a lot of juice and put it in the fridge and not juice for a few days. Or you can juice every day. You can HPP and have 2 weeks of stock ready to go, and then come back and make 2 more weeks of stock. It's just what your niche that you want to fill is, and what you're looking to do, I guess. How accessible you want to be, where you want to serve. There's pros and cons to everything. But once you do decide how you want to serve your juice, or what style, you need to decide where you want to serve it, and that's going to determine the legalities and the process and all the stuff behind the product that you're serving. There's just a whole another subject. We've talked about it, but if you're pasteurized, you can serve basically wherever you want to. If you're raw, you have to serve direct to consumers. So, and I think this is where the juicing industry is going. I think consumers are getting too smart, and we know what's going on. We know the questions to ask, and this is what we really want. Like, if there's a place and a time to do juice, to do something raw, it's live enzymes, and this juice is medicine to a lot of people, and that's why we serve it raw, and that's why we value that. It's nutrition at its most like basic form. It's just fruits and veggies, and that's it. It is the hardest, it's the number one downfall in the health food industry that I think is just accessibility. It's hard to serve a raw product in a sterile world and really do it well and be accessible. Accessibility is the number one problem in the health food industry. You can't find good quality fresh food readily available, and the competition of a fast food industry, a fast food restaurant or chain, is just like, how do you compete with that? I am curious to see what you guys think about this topic, and just it's an interesting world that we live in. We've even gotten questions and comments like raw juiceries are not allowed to run paid promotions on anything because they're raw. It's a weird world that we're living in. Yeah. Thank you guys for watching. I'm very curious to see what you guys have to say about this. Do you drink raw juice? Do you drink pasteurized juice? Do you prefer it in glass or plastic? Do you HPP? Do you know of any other types of pasteurization? There's so many things that we could dive into it. If you guys are going to JuiceCon, we're a little sad that we're not going to be there, but I wish we were. The new, the tiny, I don't know what they're calling it, MT1, MT. I really want to see that in action. I'm jealous that we're not going to be there for the competition. But yeah, if you guys are new to the channel, definitely check it out. We got lots of fun content here. I will see you guys on the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.